You might have heard of the second function's role, your secondary function, in helping you bridge the gap between the first function, your dominant function, and your inferior function. So, for example, let's take INTJs and INFJs. So, NI as the dominant function, and then SE as the inferior function. So, I believe, and you've probably come across this a lot if you're into typology, that the second function does play a role in bridging that gap. That's why some people call it the growth function. So let's take, for example, an INTJ. First function is NI, introverted intuition. Second function TE, extroverted thinking. Third function FI, introverted feeling. And inferior function, extroverted sensing. So the second function TE, extroverted thinking, can help bridge the gap. So one thing that SE is known for is action. Like, it's basically reducing the time between the thought and the action. Extroverted sensing dominance, like ESTPs and ESFPs, like to jump into action and basically start the day with the word go, just let's go. And then hopefully down the road, they want NI vision or path to come out of that. But their main focus is on action. So for INFJs and INTJs, action is a little bit of hassle or an inconvenience, like planning and making sure that the plan is perfect is easy to do, but acting on that plan is where the challenge comes. So one way to do that, for instance, if you're an INTJ, is to use extroverted thinking to set deadlines. Extroverted thinking is known for managing resources, especially time, having a schedule. So let's say you have a plan in place, and the best thing to do is just to set up a deadline for that plan. Let's say a month from now, 2 months, 3 months from now. And when that time comes, you have to act regardless of where you are in your planning phase. Is you've set a deadline and you want to make sure that you respect that deadline, and that's where your responsible function, which is your second function, comes in. And it's like, you set a deadline, you need to respect this deadline, respect the time, respect the resource, and just put the plan into action. So that's one way to bridge the gap for INTJs. For INFJs, it's going to be a little bit more different because extroverted thinking is their blind spot. It's their seventh function. So setting deadlines and external organization and management of resources is not necessarily a strong point for INFJs. It's a blind spot for them. So setting deadlines might not do it for you if you're an INFJ. So one way to do it is to use your extroverted feeling, your growth function, to build relationships and surround yourself with people that are action oriented. So if you're not action oriented yourself, you want to bridge that gap, then use that FE to build relationships and associate yourself with people that are more action oriented. And that way, by default, you'll start to become more and more action oriented. As you build your plans, you start to actually act on them. So that's just my thought on it. You've probably come across it in other platforms as well. If you have questions, if you are in doubt about your own type, I'll be more than happy to get and hop on a call with you to discuss your type and help you flesh out any ideas or any maybe confusions you have about your type. Just send me a DM below, a private message, and we can discuss further.